Welcome, Aries, to your Mars in Aries 6-week forecast for the Ascendant, the Sun, or the Moon. From April the 9th through to May the 18th, your powerful ruler Mars is going to be blazing a trail through your zodiac sign. Because as he joins at 0 degrees Aries, that's the beginning of the zodiac, it's very potent for us all collectively, but for you, it has rich significance. Not least that Mars hasn't passed through your sign for just over 2 years. So it's a great opportunity to reignite your passions, your drive, and your focus. By the end of the forecast, after I shared the event chart as Mars arrives, but also the upcoming transits, you'll have a clear understanding of what you can expect in terms of your energy, work, relationships, and finance. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it continue to thrive. So on the screen, Aries, is the event chart, and there's Mars on that vernal point. Before I just discuss the welcoming committee, let's just consider that Mars moved into the sign of Pisces on the 2nd of March, and ever since then was in the part of your chart to do with reflection. That subterranean, watery vibe creates resistance for the thrust that your ruler naturally enjoys. But it's possible you have experienced some very up and down emotions in the interim, and maybe some old issues you thought you had dealt with could have come up in quite unexpected ways. You may have also had a connection to someone from your past too. So, as far as the welcome chart is concerned, the big takeout is Neptune, which came back into your sign on the 26th of January. Now, Mars, of course, is very much about urgency, and Neptune can be much more mysterious. They're going to meet exactly on the 13th of April, but what you get straight away is if you try to rush your approach, it may be that if you're not really clear in the plan, and Neptune can create disorientation, it won't actually go as quickly as you would like. Also, if you try to rush, you could end up overheating your system, getting a fever or some kind of cold. But just know your sign is very much about identity, and Mars is about the ego. So, if ever there was a time to move into the moment after that period of reflection, it's certainly now. And if you are wanting to reimagine your physical presence in terms of fashion or hair, a great chance with Neptune there, which can bring some style and some nuances to that much more vigorous vibe of Mars. But when it comes to the big chart, we do have the Sun in Aries in a T square between the Moon and also Jupiter. And that's because as Mars arrives, there is a quarter moon in the practical worldly sign of Capricorn, where the Moon is detrimented. Now, the Moon's actually in a pretty friendly opposition with Jupiter. And here it's about balancing our more emotional enthusiasm, perhaps with the physical realities, say to do with property or work. Our feelings could be close to the surface. But because the Sun is in that square with Jupiter, one of the things you could do over the next 6 weeks is get caught up in promising more than you can truly deliver. And that's something to really be conscious of. And also, the quarter moon also suggests you could encounter someone over the next few weeks who has a much more conservative view, expects you to conform with how things have usually been done. And if you're more of a free spirit or bohemian in your approach, or you're wanting to start something completely fresh, just be aware that not everybody may understand what you're trying to do, and your enthusiasm alone may not completely persuade them. But we're going to see by the 16th Mars move forwards and come into an exact sextile to Pluto. When it comes to willpower, this is willpower central. If you're someone with a very clear plan of where you're wanting to head in your life, that really is a supercharged influence, and it can give you the ability to take the lead in a group dynamic and really drive forwards in a very powerful way. But Saturn, of course, is in your sign too, rejoining in the middle of February. And it's reminding you, and will continue to remind you over the next 2 years, that you can't always rush, because if you do, it could lead to snags. So when Mars comes into the exact conjunction with Saturn on the 19th of April, that could see you experience a barrier or some kind of obstacle, but it can also double your determination to not be beaten. And the resilience you can show if you're really invested in something that's important to you can be another reason why, with Pluto's help, something can transform. I think in terms of the big picture for you, Aries, the last couple of years has seen you do a lot of deep thinking. You may have let go of things that no longer serve your greater good, but you may not be completely or may not have completely worked out exactly what your plan is going forwards. And I think the combination of Mars and Saturn asks you to have the energy, but also the structure. So it needs to be well thought through. Now, towards the end of Mars's time in the sign of Aries, it is coming into a conjunction with Chiron. If there's something around your personal profile that you're not at ease with, Mars can bring a greater sense of encouragement to believe in who you are. But at the start of May, Mars is going to go into a right angle with Jupiter. And ironically, we get an echo of the potential with that Sun-Jupiter square of the risk of promising more than you can deliver. But just to know, if you're really working on building something from ground up, by the 18th of May, that's when you could get your financial reward, or most of all, start to see how you can value yourself, your efforts, your qualities in a much more tangible way as Mars returns to Taurus. I'm going to summarize those 4 areas for you, Aries. But just before I do, if you've yet to watch your April deep dive forecast, that's on the screen. If you've yet to watch your Libra full moon forecast, that's on the screen. You can sign up for your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning. Get your cosmic pit stop by seeing the link beneath this video. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please see my testimonials below. Now, when it comes to my charts, we've now introduced a 3-for-1 offer. And we're going to maintain this because we realize that financially, the world over, there's a lot of headwinds. So you pay for one and get 3 in total. So it's a brilliant offer. Please see the link below for more. So to summarize, when it comes to your physical energy, do watch you're not taking on too much too quickly. So you need to temper the action and the enthusiasm that comes from Mars being in your sign with a sound step-by-step plan. When it comes to your professional situation, I think with the moon at the top of your chart like that, if you work in an environment where you are encouraged to demonstrate your individuality and flair, you'll be absolutely fine. If, however, you work in a more conventional situation, that might not be so comfortable for you. But financially, you do have a tremendous link between Venus and Jupiter, the 2 planets of fortune. And it's possible by blending your action with your intuition that can convert into better finances for you. Now, as far as relationships are concerned, I think if you're wanting to improve your lot, you could be the one to take action. And if you're perhaps enjoying just getting to know different people, the thrill of the chase will certainly call out to you. But if you are looking for something more long lasting, it may come through some kind of group connection or activity. Wishing you all the best, Aries. Take care and goodbye.